Good morning,
Hello.
everyone. It's Saturday noon and it's time to wake up.
And smell the rosin.
Yay! We are the Side String Pros and we're so excited to have our today's guest on our live stream. By the way, this is kind of a special number. It's episode number 20.
That's
So
awesome.
just checking the sound there. Yes. So we are good. We're on the air. You can hear us. You can see us, hopefully. But yes, episode number 20. Can you imagine? And guys, I wanted to thank you because I was thinking we're such a small channel, but you guys are such amazing listeners because with the size of our channel, the fact that we've done already 2019 and this is the 20th episode, and not once did we have to do it into the air without the audience. I am amazed that all of our wonderful subscribers who show up week after week, and then at first we did them every week and it was amazing. We always had the audience, which was so exciting, and then now that we're having every other week, you still did not forget us. So thank you so much. We are at 995 subs. So 5 more and we can finally get to 1,000. Now, the most exciting thing for me about having 1,000 subscribers is that we get to do that community posts, those community posts, because then we can actually post for you guys what's coming up. It's going to be so much easier to communicate. So that's very exciting. And of course, the pizza and piazzolla party. Now that I, as a mom, I'm in heaven because all 3 of my kids are finally here, which we haven't been together since the pandemic started. All 3 of us, and my mom is here too. So plus, my husband is an amazing chef. So we're gonna have some awesome party. We're gonna go live with some pizza recipes, and you guys could. We're still thinking. We might even, maybe it would be fun to kind of share, like have everyone get their ingredients, and we could kind of do it on air together. But while the pizza is baking or whatever way, we're gonna definitely play some piazzolla duos. I know they're really fun duos for double bass and violin, so I think they will work for cello and violin, and they're super cute tangos, so we're looking at those, and maybe more, but we can't wait to finally get to 1,000 because then we can communicate with you guys. It'll be so much more fun. But now back to business.
Awesome. So we have a really awesome guest joining us today, Krista, Guthrie Shoemake. And Krista, if you want to go ahead and unmute and turn on your video, you could do that. Awesome.
Hi, Krista. So great to see you. Oh my goodness.
So awesome. So Krista, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So every time someone asks me that, I'm like, who am I?
Who am I? I know the feeling.
Yeah. So I am a violinist. I'm a violin performer and teacher in Salt Lake City, Utah. Um, and today I'm going to be talking to you and playing some of my arrangements for you. So the theme today is kind of on arranging, but that's how I would probably really, I guess, identify myself as not just a performer, but also a creator and an arranger. So I really love creating fun arrangements of popular songs. I'm trying to learn more about songwriting as well, like original songs.
Awesome.
And I currently actually teach at a charter school. I teach orchestra and elementary kids after school. So I've been staying pretty busy during the pandemic, and I have a really cute dog.
Yes, he is so cute. What's the name?
Aww.
Oh my goodness, there. So cute.
Oh yeah, my dog's name is Woody. So
Woody. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've seen you post. I see you post. They're the cutest, like with all these little outfits, and he has so much character. A lot of character in that little dog. Little dog, lots of character. Is that like a thing usually with dogs? I don't know. I'm not a pet person, so.
And I seriously think there's like a human trapped inside of him because like he's like wickedly smart and the way, like, he's not just smart, but he's really emotional.
Oh,
Very sensitive.
cute.
Like,
That's cute.
yeah, it's cute.
Oh my goodness. So yeah,
That's awesome.
So tell us a little bit. So why don't we go ahead? I can't wait for you to tell us a little bit about your arrangements, and you're going to play two of your arrangements, right? And and just play them because, guys, I am just absolutely, the first time I've heard Krista's arrangements, I was so impressed at how creative she is, and it's very unexpected what she does on the violin, considering those are violin solo arrangements, and that's like, I tell, a lot of times when people ask me about violin solo music, I tell them there's not a lot of repertoire, and you don't see a lot of concerts dedicated to just violin solo music because, first of all, it's extremely challenging to play. Usually any good music, solo music for violin, is quite challenging to perform well. And you have to be very, very talented as a composer or arranger. You have to be very you have to have a lot of ingenuity to create anything for violin solo that would be fun to listen to. And so, Krista, you've done it so well, and with the most unexpected things. So I can't wait. Let's just get to it.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to start with Another One Bites the Dust by Queen.
Yes.
Mom loves Queen.
I'm such a fan.
She's a Queen fan.
I love Queen too. I mean,
Who doesn't?
I only arrange things that I love, unless
Yeah, me too. Totally. Yeah.
yeah. So I've been a Queen fan for a long time. I really wish Freddie Mercury was still alive, and I really wish Michael Jackson was still alive. Like the two people that had to die young. But Another One Bites the Dust is actually written, or I think it's the idea of the song at least was written by John Deacon, who's the bass player of Queen. Because Freddie Mercury gets a lot of the spotlight, but the what's really interesting about this song is the bass line is also the melody, which like never happens. So
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right. I never thought of that. You're right.
So I've always thought that was so cool. So but yeah, Another One Bites the Dust came out in 1980, so it's an early 80s song. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get started.
Awesome. Us.
Sorry, move my chair out of the way.
No worries.
That's another one by the dog.
Bravo! That was amazing.
Do you want her to play both, or do you want her
Yeah,
to talk?
she's
Okay.
gonna get. So the next
Okay.
one.
Cool.
Okay, next one. Next one is Twist and Shout, which is by the Beatles. However, I didn't even know this till recently, but the Beatles didn't originally write this song. They just made it popular, and I did not know that until recently. It's originally by the, I don't know if you say it, the Isley Brothers or the Isley Brothers.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
A 1960s band that I've never heard of, but I'm sure my dad knows them.
We have a comment from Dr. Violin. They say, very cool, parts of that sound like Isai.
Yep.
Yes. We'll talk about it. Thank you so much, guys. Please.
Bravo from J.
Bravo,
Claudia,
yes.
71.
Amazing. Yeah, guys, wait. So we have one more range, which I'm sure you would like to hear this. And then we'll just, feel free to think of any questions and any compliments you want to post, please, because I'm just excited about this. So, yes.
Cool. All right. Here is Twist and Shout. Let me retune real quick.
Amazing. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Oh my goodness. So awesome. I'm so happy we can have such cool music on our channel. This is great. Thank you so much. Guys, I hope you post all the amazing compliments that she definitely more than deserves. Please be encouraging and post. And also the questions. I am personally, what I love about your arranging style, which I feel the same about anytime I arrange anything. Anything you're using technically comes from the sound you want to hear. And I think that is so important. And when it comes to also my teaching, that's what I've been taught by my teachers, that the reason the technique exists is to, what's the word, to express the musical intent, right? Yeah. And so what I love about what you do is you're using technique in just that sense, and not, there's so much showmanship in your playing and bravado and everything, and definitely very, very impressive technique. And I love that you have that. But what I love the most is that that's not what I think about when I see you play. When I hear your arrangements, I just really enjoy how creative, how I just enjoy the piece, and I really enjoy it just as much as if I heard the band. Like there's nothing missing. Yeah. As far as, and it's so difficult because you have to, violin has to be the rhythm section, it has to be the melody, it has to give us the harmony, the beat, everything. And violin is not really naturally, doesn't lend itself very easily to that. So that's amazing. Just bravo, bravo, bravo. Amazing.
I see you're using the chopping technique.
Yeah, that's something that I know that I can be a lot better at too. It's a fiddling technique. I actually did learn during my time at ASU. That's where I got my master's degree. So, and even today, I was like, oh, my chop's a little bit rusty.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. It's not about perfection. It's about the style, the character, the secret sauce. That you've got it. Can you tell us a little bit? Show us how to do that, because I just really love the chopping thing. What is and if you guys know about it, pitch in, because I don't have experience with that technique, and I'm really, really interested in learning it.
Yeah, it's gaining some popularity for sure. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but this is the way I learned it. So keep your regular bow hold, which hopefully you would want to if you worked really hard to protect it. But basically, it has to happen at like the very, very end of the frog, like not even here, but like basically by the middle. And you do get a better sound by the bridge, and you basically you kind of just drop, like it's not even the whole arm, it's just the wrist. Just coming down. And there's even like kind of you almost have to angle your bow this way a little bit and push out.
Oh, my students are gonna like it, because a lot of them we have to work about, so they're gonna like that.
One thing, that I was teaching some of my students too, and I was like, you have to have a good bow hold.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, cool.
That's cool.
And you can kind of block the strings with your left hand too.
Oh, that's a good point. So yeah, can you do with the fingers and without the fingers?
Yeah, so. I hit my E string a lot too. It might be hard to tell on Zoom too, but there's more ringing, but plus.
Oh yeah.
Like you're already kind of blocking.
And I love that sometimes when you take it off, you also let it. You can do it too, like.
Sometimes there's even like triplet chops, which I cannot do at this stage. But it's like
Wow. Yeah.
That is really fantastic. I love that. It's just.
I think the first time I saw the chopping thing, well, I might have heard it before, but I have a friend from my graduate school, Manhattan School of Music, that he actually was really good at singing and doing and playing. He would sing and play, and he would chop and do the rhythm in the chords, and he would sing, and it was crazy. It was so awesome. I I can sing and play guitar, but for some reason, cello is just like, it's really hard. Like, it's much harder. And he was just so good at it. And so he was doing all these like rhythmic things and also singing. So kind of like what you're doing, like with the melody though, like interweaving that in. So it's really impressive.
I mean, if you ever, maybe a lot of you have heard of Time for Three. Charles Yang is one of the violinists, and he's kind of their like lead singer, I guess. But
Okay.
he's a violinist, so I just saw them in concert in February. Actually, it was the first.
What was the name again?
Time for Three.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of them.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, yeah.
So they chop and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they went to like this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, I was thinking when you were playing Queen, Queen song at first. Song, I can actually say song. Because that's my pet peeve. When my students come and ask me, Dr. Seitz, what song should I play? I'm like, songs have words, we have pieces. But this is actually song, so we can say that. But, it's amazing because I was thinking Queen, one of the reasons I think they were so amazing is they were all quite like they weren't super young when they started, like when it usually the bands that start with almost teenagers, like they were already in their prime as musicians, and most of them were very, very highly academically and professionally trained, whether in music or something else. I think a couple of them had doctorates or something, and of course
What?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it has something to do
Sorry,
with
I
stars.
didn't hear what she said.
Yeah.
Oh, astrophysics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think, and when you were, and also, of course, Freddie Mercury was professionally trained, musically and as a dancer and so forth, if I remember correctly. But anyway, you could tell the harmonies that you're playing, they're just so classical, in that music. It's so that also lends itself so well, to violin. Of course, the style is different, but you could tell how everything is rooted in that really, really high level classical education, and a lot of times if you dig enough into these super popular and bands or popular musicians who really made it, a lot of times you'd be surprised at how well they were educated, in classical sense, because music basically just turns on all those little laws that our theory teachers make us do, and then we have to forget them when we start composing and arranging, because Bach, if you look at Mozart, there are plenty of parallel fifths in this music that his dad would probably beat him on his fingers or whatever they did.
I remember when I first started learning all those rules, like my freshman year of undergrad, because I did some music theory in like high school, but like it wasn't until college that I really started diving into like all the rules and the complexities. And I was like, I remember thinking like literally everything I've ever played or sung or anything like doesn't follow these rules.
Exactly.
I think of that too whenever I am arranging, even if I'm like at some various sound, I'm looking at I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. Can you give us a little? Can you give us a little insight into like how does it work for you? Like what maybe from like maybe what inspires you to start arranging, and how does the process go? I'm just curious.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first thing I want to say is like I don't have like one process. I feel like I have different ways almost every time.
Would you be able to get a little closer to the mic or speak up just a little bit? I think it's just like I don't know why it's cutting out a little bit, or if you could just like speak a little louder, that would be great.
So yeah, I don't have like one method of arranging, but I will say that Twist and Shout, I don't think I'll ever have another arrangement come to me so quickly and clearly like that one did. I don't know why that one did. It just did. And I heard it, I've listened to it growing up, so I knew the song, but I remember at ASU we actually took like we had like a fiddle type of master class with this guy named Taylor Morris. He's amazing. Look him up. Anyways, he's incredible. And we had to come up with a solo arrangement, like a solo violin arrangement. I was trying to think of what song I wanted to do, and I was driving home, and Twisted Shout came on the radio because I was listening to like an oldies station,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh my gosh, this is in D major. I was like, oh yeah, like, and like I could do this, and like it was all just coming to me while I was driving, and I was like, I wish I was practicing right now, but I had like another 15 minutes before I get home. But then I was able to whip that one out pretty quickly, um, just because I was familiar with the chords and stuff already.
Yeah.
Another one bites the dust took a little bit longer because I actually took like more lessons on that one with Paramores. So
Cool.
did another one bites the dust, and I want to chop in between like the big beats, but I don't think I have the. I'm not doing the right kind of chop. So he was the one that he taught me the original chop, but he was teaching like kind of a double chop.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah. Um, so and off and let's see, I lost my train of thought. So that's how the chop came out in that one. But really, I also just reference a lot of like guitar chord charts too whenever I don't
Yeah.
record like just from scratch. Um, but then like if I see a chord that's like that's gonna be really hard to do on violin, like I'm like maybe I can just change it, or not maybe change the chord, but just change the direction of the song I'm going in. And I love including like little hints of classical pieces like this.
Mhm.
Fun fact: I have not played that piece. I just know that. And I heard it so many times at AAC that I felt like I heard it. But yeah, classical crossover is like I think it's so much fun. So yeah, I guess yeah. So I think I always do a lot of listening because it all comes from the ear at first before I can put action into anything. And I'll look at chord charts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to make sure you know chords on the violin too. So minor chord is like, or that's an A minor chord. You can add C natural, G major chord.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know like where can you use an open string.
Yeah.
To like make it easier because I don't want to make my own impossible. So I guess that's kind of a process. It's really like a lot of listening, and I actually will sometimes just kind of map it out like so for another one bites the dust. I knew that I wanted to do a cool intro before I got into bum 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 ba da 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 da, and I just made something up. Actually, I was like long note arpeggios, and somehow turned into Isai. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask because I was like, I really liked the parts that you threw in that weren't necessarily like from this song because I think there have been times where I've been like done some arranging myself, but not necessarily in this way, but like just playing things like I'll do like multiple parts and like record them and like stack them just like for fun, like a lot of times like movie music or things like that just for fun. And usually for those I just go straight by by the book, like whatever is written. But I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool because you actually like put these like interludes in like things that aren't like exactly by the song, because if you do the exact song the whole time, it might be kind of boring because it's like you don't have all the other parts going with you. Like if you have like a whole band, you have the luxury of being able to sing the same melody over and over because you have all these moving parts, so like it doesn't get boring. But when you have one instrument, you have to find all these creative ways of like taking that melody and turning it into other stuff, which I really liked, and I think is really really cool and really effective. Like I really liked it. and I thought you did such a good job of like transforming it and like taking us like other places, and then like all of a sudden you're like back and you're like, oh yeah, there it is, there's the melody again. It was cool.
Super, because and what I love it was you know, it was very organic within the song that you were doing. It was, you weren't imposing something that, oh yeah, now I have to put the filler because I can't play, you know, the same melody. But it, because sometimes that's what we're thinking, right? It's quite kind of like, just like Esther, I agree with you, because violin is so limited in many ways comparing to a band, that's a great way to add a little cadenza here and there, things like that. It's a great way to get out of the tight situation, so you have some timing, because obviously you can't just play the verse once and be done, because, you know, it's an arrangement. You know, people are prepared. You have to make it last 2 or 3 minutes, at least 3 or 5 or better. So I've done the same thing when I did, you know, adding this little cadenzas, little riffs. But with you knowing that you're a very classically, you know, brought up violinist, and but you feel the style that you're playing of those pop songs so well that it's just the perfect combination. It does, I would say it does enrich it a lot, the impression and just the song itself, but it doesn't come at me like, you know, oh, this is just, you know, it's just very very natural, you know, so that's very hard to do. So great job, really enjoyed it. One of the reasons, you know, I wanted you to also, obviously, I love you playing, I love your arrangements, but one of the things that I wanted to touch on during the live is because, and we talked about it before, you know, I mentioned that you know, a lot of people do covers, do like arrangements. Yours is an arrangement because obviously, but still it's using a famous song that could be still probably copyrighted. And on our channel, we try to stay away from any kind of songs that are still copyrighted, that playing the arrangements of them, or for the reason, because I don't want to, you know, it's just kind of a hairy area. I don't want to get into that. And recently, one of my students, who is has a YouTube channel, has been growing very well, very talented singer actually, as well as a very talented violinist. So the student of mine just is able to monetize, but they now have a dilemma because most of their content was covers. And so, and that's kind of a shame, that sometimes you really want to do a fun arrangement and play it on your channel, or a cover, and we just try to stay away from this because of the copyright, you know, claims. But what I love about you are a published author, so we don't have to worry about this because you already. So tell us about how you published your arrangements, just a little bit. I know it's probably just how that works as far as that copyright that you mentioned. You don't have to worry about the copyright because it's all taken care of. But I'm sure it would be fun for our, you know, viewers to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, of course. So, the me being an author, I didn't write a book, by the way. I did, but I have published sheet music.
Yes.
So I have the solo arrangements that I just played are on musicnotes.com. I'll include that link, actually. And what I like about Music Notes is it's a very common website for people to go buy sheet music in general. So that's why I use it. And they take care of the copyright, I guess, issues. If that makes sense. So, because I was like, I know that copyright is a thing, and I can learn more about it, and I'm still learning about it, but I would rather have someone else take care of it personally so that I can put my time into other things. So I emailed, there's a guy that works there named Dan Ruff. I went on their website, and there's a place where you can contact them about having your music published. So, and I was surprised that they actually did want to publish me, because I expected to get rejected, but then I was like, oh, cool. So,
well, you know what? It speaks very well of them. It tells me that they have a pretty good taste.
Oh, Yeah, for sure. So I basically, whenever I submit music to them, I have Sibelius on my computer, the music composing software. So I send them a PDF of my arrangement and the Sibelius file, and
Mm-hmm.
they usually it is kind of like an editing process, like, oh, like, uh, can you rewrite this rhythm? Like, because sometimes I'll do like the wrong type of beams. If that makes sense.
Oh,
Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like they're like, I'm really glad that they help with that because they're good at making the music look neat on paper.
yeah.
When maybe like when I'm just writing it out, it looks a little bit messy at first. Um, and yeah, so they're great with that. Um, I do want to say though, so being published as sheet music is very different than on YouTube because in order to do covers on YouTube, like if I were just to play like uh, just like a regular cover of Twist and Shout, like not even like my arrangement, but like almost like word for word, then I would probably need to get what's called a mechanical license.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Mm-hmm.
that is the copyright license that you need in order to put your music in a video of someone else's song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely not an expert on stuff like that. I don't have like a ton of subscribers on YouTube, but I know that this is something that like the piano guys they have to deal with stuff like that because they do covers all the time and
Yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
in all the videos. Um, so I'm actually not sure what all the details are on that. I actually have learned about it before, but I forgot a lot of things. So
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, and that's what I want to clarify. Yes, I understand that publishing, you were talking about publishing, copyright, which Music Notes takes care of, and that's very different
Nice.
from covers. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought it up. So we're not saying, but what I like about it, as far as your arrangements, performing it on the channel, we don't have to worry because if anything comes, you actually have a copyright for this arrangement. So as long as you're playing your arrangement or anyone is playing your arrangement, if they, and I highly recommend, we're going to post all the links where you can purchase the arrangement, you know, and all that. Please support Krista. She's an amazing musician. Musicians need all the support we can get. We'll post all the links and we'll talk about later of the groups you're affiliated with and everything. But yes, of course, we're talking about published music arrangement copyright, not something that gives you, you know, mechanical licenses specifically for YouTube. But in a way, you know, it could be a, kind of a loophole at least if you have your own arrangement. Like if you, and in order for it to be acknowledged as an arrangement, you have to bring something. You can't just, you know, just cover the song note for note and then send it and say it's an arrangement. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So definitely we're not talking about YouTube covers copyrights, but this is a way if you like to arrange and you bring something like Krista into this music that's popular, but you bring so much of yours and you're lucky enough to be approved by someone like Music Notes who know how to deal with copyright. I assume it's pretty safe for you. You don't have to worry about it because, you know, they take care. I think that's such a great compromise for a lot of people who like arrangement, like myself, you know, or I know Esty, you like to do that. And yeah, so yeah, I'm glad you specified that. Definitely, there's a big difference in that.
um, that also just made me think of on Instagram. We the I guess I'll start talking about the group that I'm into. I'm in an electric string group called String FX, which is String FX. So it's like um, and we do a lot of covers. I guess string covers. Maybe some of them are more arrangements, but most of them are covers. And we did one of Senorita by Shawn Mendes, like Senorita.
Mhm.
Uh, and we have it on YouTube, but we also share portions of that on Instagram just to give people a little taste of what.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like a month ago or so. Our little clip on Instagram got flagged because they said that we were stealing someone's music. So it's like
It's so annoying.
it's it's always a struggle, honestly. Like, why haven't I figured that out completely? So yeah, it's just something that I thought of.
And the annoying thing, especially about YouTube, it's the robots that do it. And I had experiences. So this was hilarious. So there's this really cute story. Ferdinand the Bull book, and there's
There's a piece for it.
yes, by right. I don't know if it's Ridout or Rideout. It's a British composer, and I love it, and I play it. And so I recorded it just for fun to post on my YouTube channel, where I tell the story. And actually, was Dr. Guerra, our Vice President of Cultural Affairs. We did it for Day of Dias del Niños a few years ago. And so, and I thought we recorded it. She was doing narration, and I was doing playing. And so, and believe it or not, it got flagged. And this, Universal Music Group or whoever those people are super annoying. And so they're telling me that they own this recording. And I'm like, that's me playing. I mean, oh, that's great. So does it mean you owe me some royalties? And I didn't remember. Maybe I got an amnesia that I actually recorded with you guys officially. And I don't, but it's just so, I did take it down, just put it on private because it's not, but it's ridiculous because, I'm sure someone recorded it somewhere, officially on some label or whatever. But the thing is, this is my own playing. How can you tell me that? And I actually purchased the book. I purchased the music. It's not so. It's it can be super annoying. Super annoying. Just
or sometimes they'll even flag. I had an issue before, I don't remember if it was me or a friend, but they flagged something that was already public domain. Sometimes the bots will flag, it was a classical or Baroque piece that was really old, public domain, found it on IMSLP, and they were playing it in the video, and they flagged it, or they were this music is from blah blah blah, and they had to go jump through some hoops because we had to explain to someone this is public domain, this is not copyrighted, we can use this however we want, but
probably, in a way it's impressive because that probably means you're playing sounded like another classical musician.
Right, it's okay,
that's what I'm thinking.
Didn't
that's
that
probably
happen too with some of your students on one of the recitals?
It's well, actually, we were doing my student recital, private studio recital, and we were doing some quartet arrangements of some Disney stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was on Facebook, and one of our members of our family, my sister, I guess my cousin-in-law, you would call her, my cousin's wife, and she was streaming on Facebook, and it closed it because it said this performance is copyrighted. I'm we are playing ourselves right now, and we bought the music. That's the thing, in the live performance, as long as you bought the music and you're giving credit to the author, there's no problems. But with the bots on social media and especially on YouTube, they have these codes that they attach to tracks. But sometimes I've heard stories that some videos, especially the educational videos where they play clips of certain, especially people who like to teach jazz, sometimes they use those in educational purposes, and the claim would come back actually claiming a completely different song, but saying that we have that. So anyway, so this is kind of I hope that they finally figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah. And I think it's just been highlighted, emphasized because of the pandemic, because everybody's been playing online so much more. So everything has been emphasized in that area.
Yeah, so that's one of the nice things about playing live. I think it's a little bit more straightforward, the rules. When you're making an acoustic regular live performance, if you're giving credit to the composer, you purchase the copy of the music, it's completely legal to perform anybody's music anywhere, even if you're playing someone's arrangement of Queen's song. As long as you purchase that music and that arrangement is officially published, there's no way there's no copyright laws or issues. And for some reason with the social media, it's just been I feel like it's blown out of proportion. Kind of like in old times when they caught you with bootlegged DVDs.
Oh yeah.
Remember, it used to be a big issue.
Those funny anti-piracy commercials. You wouldn't steal a car.
Yeah, that's from our favorite IT crowd. Okay, so we kind of started chasing rabbits. So tell us a little bit more. I would love to hear from you, as because our subscribers, a lot of our subscribers are orchestra directors, educators, and you having to, I assume, having to teach during pandemic. How did that work for you? What did you come up with to keep going?
Right. So I know everybody's experience in the pandemic is different. So let's see. So last March, that's when the world shut down. I did not have I didn't have any work, anything until the school year started again. I was like, well, there's no gigs. I'm not getting any private students. I'd also recently like just moved to Utah, so it's like no one really knew me, and people weren't taking private lessons as a quarantine. So there was a job opening at a charter school to teach for the after school program, and it's, maybe you've heard of it. It's called Sistema. They have it all over the U.S. and all over the world actually. Um, and so I took that job, which it was technically part time. Um, so uh, I started doing that, and they actually needed help with the daytime orchestra kids, which are like middle and high school kids, um, starting this past January. So just as of like the end of January, I have been working full time with the daytime kids and the after school kids. So, and we've actually been in person this whole time. I know that's like very different from other states, but this district specifically, I think because it's in an area that where a lot of the families are lower income, where like, I mean, the families just can't afford to like be at home with their kids all day. That's why this school district, they really kind of fought with the state a little bit to stay open, and we wear masks. We sanitize a lot. We actually still have quite a few students who are online, but a lot of them are there in person because like they just don't have a choice. Um, so, but I feel very fortunate that I even got a job during the pandemic. Like I just feel really lucky, um, and it's been great to be busy again.
Yes.
But it's also been hard transitioning from doing absolutely nothing a year ago to doing almost everything now.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I definitely experience burnout like very frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't taught online a ton because the school has stayed in person. So
That's great. That's actually for teaching an orchestra. It's so difficult to do it online. So it's a, in a way it worked out really good that you could actually meet with the kids. And
Yeah.
have you enjoyed teaching?
yeah, it's been good. I am gonna my hours are gonna be a little different next year because right now I my hours are just really weird. I basically work in the mornings with the daytime, the orchestra kids, and then I have a break between 12 and 3, and then I go back to the after school program from like 3:15 to 7. So I have that break in the middle of the day. My days feel like they're like 12 hours long every day.
Yeah.
So next year I'm just going to be daytime, like just orchestra, because I'd really like to keep my after school hours open for potential private students or just arranging and
It's awesome.
It's also nice, like as musicians, once the gigs start coming back, keeping evenings open because a lot of gigs happen in the evening. Like, so I agree with that too. It's like I like to keep my evenings open
Yeah.
because sometimes you get those last minute gigs too, and
yeah.
it sucks when you have to say no because you're like, oh man, I have like a shift at work or I have whatnot. I did get lucky when I was in undergrad. I was waiting tables for a while at just like a Mexican restaurant, and one of my managers used to be like in theater, So she like really understood like the performance grind, and when if I'd get like a last minute gig and we weren't busy, she'd like let me go.
Aw.
She'd be like, okay, yeah, you can go. like even if I had a shift. So that was really nice. She was really great. So it's nice when you find those people that kind of like understand the grind, and like wanting to get those gigs. But it is nice to keep like evenings open so you don't have to worry about that if you do get an opportunity. Yeah.
And I have gotten a couple gigs, just like especially this last fall. There was a couple weddings that started happening again. They were small, but
Yeah, we played a couple
Yeah.
weddings. I played like an Easter gig.
But masks. But now that
yeah.
we're all only one member of our family right now is halfway vaccinated. We're all like fully vaccinated, so we're like, yeah, now we can. I mean, we still
wear a mask for the community.
For the community, just because. But for others, because you never know who is vaccinated or not, around you, and you don't want to accidentally. But it's been really fun, and I've been like, my head was filled with all these fun projects, and that was I want to now that we can get out. So what are anything that you can share with us, any fun projects that are not a secret that you're planning to participate in, maybe with your groups, maybe by yourself? Let us know. We would love to know a little bit about that.
Yeah, of course. So I'll talk a little bit more about the string group I'm in. So again, string and Vex, I think. And so there's 2 violinists, including me, and 1 cellist. So we're a trio, and it's all female. We all have a lot of fun together. I just love like arranging with them and filming with them because we have so many bloopers, and it's just fun. But we've mostly been creating online content simply because there weren't that many gigs anyway. But we wanted to get kind of create our own brand. So we've been trying to film, record, and produce two songs per month. So we've been working on like kind of long term, like a pop punk album. So if you're around my age and you listen to like Fall Out Boy, Green Day, Avril Lavigne when you're younger, yes, me too. We've been doing a lot of those covers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna look that up.
So do you have a YouTube channel that we could go to, or what is the name of your YouTube channel for you? I know you have your own, but is your group on a different channel?
yeah, they're on a different channel. So let me just make sure I have the exact name. But I did text you the link.
I think I have the link for the
okay,
String Effects
good.
YouTube channel.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
And then the personal, and then the Instagrams.
Okay.
Oh, your dog's Instagram.
Oh, that's so cute.
Woody,
so
that's
so yeah,
cute.
so we're definitely going to post all those links, guys. Please check those out. And so yeah, so back to you.
Yeah. So yeah, we have our own YouTube channel. We're building that up. So we're trying to build an audience of millennials like myself, or just people who like this kind of music. And we also are trying to post some pop covers as well, just to like, oh, like this song is really popular right now. Like it's kind of a way to like maybe hopefully boost your views, but also like they're fun too. Like there's a really popular song by Olivia Rodrigo called Driver's License right now. We did a couple of that, and that's actually it's over thousands of views, which is pretty good.
It's awesome.
So we do covers like that. The next pop cover I'm working on is Levitating by
It's like Greek to me.
and it's like
Dua Lipa. I laugh so hard. There's this, I don't know if you've seen, there's this clip of like Wendy Williams, that talk show host, and she calls Dua Lipa Dula Peep. And it cracks me up. It's so funny. You should watch it if you're working on that song. She's like, so Dula Peep, and she just like cannot, and it's just like a compilation of her trying to say Dua Lipa, but saying Dula Peep every time. And then apparently Dua Lipa like tweeted at her, and she was like, no, I like it. She's like, yeah, so she embraced me calling her Dula Peep.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so that's like the arrangement I'm currently working on. And today, later this afternoon, we're gonna film "Misery Business" by Paramore.
Taking a misery, we take it from the top.
That's awesome.
Like an hour, she's taking like a clock. Yeah, okay.
That's super exciting. So
I'm here for it.
Yeah, so we'll definitely check it out as soon as it's published, and we will subscribe to all your channels. Well, I'm already subscribed to your solo channel. I know that because I see when, and but not to. I didn't know about the separate until you know. Now that we have the links, we will. So I wanted before. I know it's getting close to the end, but you mentioned that you're in Utah right now. But can you tell us a little bit about where you're originally from?
Yes, I'm originally from Texas.
Yay!
So yeah, I grew up in Fort Worth, which is northeast Texas.
Cool.
So there, yeah, I did lived in the same house, same bedroom, my whole high school years until I went to college, actually.
Wow, awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
then I went to BYU, Idaho. So there's a BYU in Utah, but there's one in Idaho. I did my undergraduate there, and then I did my master's degree at Arizona State, and now I live in Utah. So I've kind of been everywhere over the last 8 years or so. Yeah, after ASU, my husband got a job up here in Salt Lake City.
Mhm.
Up here, we bought our first house last August. So it's
Aw,
So
congratulations!
exciting.
So exciting.
love living in a house with a yard, and yeah, it's great. So
That's
we're truly blessed, honestly. So
good.
yeah,
So you have a beautiful setup, and I remember just I wanted to throw this out. How I know Krista, we met in Italy, where I was teaching at a festival, and she was there. She was also participating in the festival, and then we made really good friends with her professor back then from ASU. And blanking.
Dr. McLean.
Yeah, yeah, McLean, right? And so then I ended up teaching a master class at ASU later, and you played Beethoven concerto for me, and I remember. And so I know you as a violinist quite well. I feel in your other classical side, you know. But and I wanted to say that you definitely have a beautiful setup. You have great technique. So how did you start? Where does that come from? Like how old were you where you start? How did you take private lessons, or did you learn in school? When did you get like super serious about, was it right from the start that you were super serious, or your teachers were about the setup, or was it later? I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, of course. So I started when I was 3. I was a classic Suzuki kid, honestly. Um, I had a couple cousins that played violin, and my mom just always wanted me to be in like some sort of strings lessons. She just wanted that for me, which is good. So I went to a Suzuki after school program for pretty much like K through 12. I took from Nicolette Solomon in Dallas, Texas, and when I was around like 12, that's kind of the age where it's kind of the awkward phase. Like I was burned out of playing violin. I actually really wanted to quit, which my mom and my teacher were not gonna let me do that. Um, but they were still very encouraging, and I was able to pick up some other hobbies like during that time. Like I got into tennis and just to kind of maybe distract myself a little bit. But when I was when I was 14, um, Nicolette, I just call her Nicolette, she took her whole studio to France to perform with other French Suzuki kids.
Oh,
And
how fun.
we did a lot of different performances. We performed like on the street, we performed at the train station for the homeless, and then we did like our final big performance for well, it was just for anyone who came, but it was at the governor's palace in Lyon, France. And like just that whole trip like really changed me. I was like, whoa, you can perform in another country? Like and it was just and like it was just so cool to meet other other violinists who were my age, like in another place, and I was like, whoa, like it was amazing. So it was from then on, like basically in high school, I was like, okay, I want to do this. So that's how I got serious about it. It was from that trip, mostly.
That's great. I think we probably all can identify with that. When I was fortunate to start quite early. I mean, back then we didn't start quite early at 3, but I started at 7, which was 6 to 7 was kind of traditional way back in the old country in Soviet Union. I'm dating myself. You can imagine how old I am. It was still Soviet Union back then. But so this was very public knowledge. The parents who wanted the kids to start, they all started around that age, sometimes 6, maybe 5 the earliest. But it's that part. And Esty, you started maybe a little bit later than me, but still around 9, 8 or 9.
Well,
so that was...
I started playing violin when I was like 6, because I remember in
but
first
it was just
grade.
it wasn't.
Yeah, but like I was playing, like, you taught me scales, and like you taught me, like, I remember learning.
I don't even remember
like,
that.
I remember learning how to hold the bow and learning how to
Yes.
play scales and learning how to read music. Like, I remember all of that. It's funny because she doesn't really remember. She's like, "Oh, well, you didn't really play violin." I'm like, "I did. You taught me how to do all these things."
I was, you were my oldest. I
like
had 3 kids.
Like I knew how to put
like,
the shoulder rest on, and, like all this stuff. I had a little purple sponge actually.
Oh yeah.
But like so I remember all of that. Yeah, I remember all of that. But then I was kind of like playing here and there, but not seriously. And then whenever she brought home a cello for my brother when I was like 8. And that's when I started playing cello, because I really liked the cello. Because the violin was fun, but I always thought it was like too loud by my ear. I didn't like it. I was like, oh, it's too loud.
Squeaky.
And I don't like having to stand up while I play it.
Yeah. But so I'm sorry, we couldn't hear.
Sorry, what did you say?
What did you say? We couldn't hear.
I've always been jealous of cellists. Like
Oh really?
Dang, I wish I mean I love violin, but I wish I also played cello.
Well, it's never too late. She's a very good teacher. I'm just kidding. But I'm thinking, so when you start that early, I think there's always that you kind of do it, and then we can, like, I remember also, I was actually older than 12, that moment when I realized, aha moment, when you realize it's all worth it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you practice because you have to. No, you don't hate it. I loved, performing I loved. I just hated practicing, And then, right? And then there was that moment when something happens that, aha moment. What was, do you remember a moment like that? What was it for you?
Yeah, for me, and I think I mentioned it before on our channel, but it's when I went to play with the All-State Orchestra when I was 14. That was when I had that aha moment for me that I really wanted to, like, do this as a career. Because before that, I was kind of just doing it because, it was an extracurricular and I was supposed to do it. But that's when I really got serious about it. Because I went, and it was kind of the same thing, like, where you realize, like, wait, there are other kids my age who are doing this, and they play well, and there's this community that you kind of get to finally see. Because I was in, like, school orchestra, but it was kind of small, and also, like, I was always kind of, a lot of the kids in the orchestra weren't taking, like, weekly private lessons like I was, so I was kind of, like, in the upper level, so there wasn't anyone else really that was at my same level that I could see and, like, really relate to. But then when I finally got to go to, like, All-State, and I could see all these kids that were also, like, taking weekly private lessons and doing all the same things I was doing, I was like, wow, I don't feel like I'm the only one doing these things. And then it was really inspiring to, like, meet other people like that and see, like, what their goals were and the things they wanted to do, and be like, hey, actually I could do that too, so it was good. And of course, like, always seeing my mom, but it's, when you grow up, you're like, oh, she's my mom.
I like that story where you played Zelda game, and it turned out later, she told me when she was a kid, and I might have mentioned it on the channel, she kind of automatically imagined me playing. She literally seriously thinking those little solo in that old Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
There were a lot of little violins. So I love the soundtrack. It's real, like, real instruments, real orchestra, but there's a lot of violin solos. And she said, well, I always kind of assumed it was you playing. And I thought that was so cute, So
Yeah.
so let's see. Did we get any? Do we have any questions we need to address?
No
Or any
questions,
comments?
but Dr. Violin said fantastic arrangements, amazing technique, and J Claudia 71 said always cool to hear how someone gets started.
Yeah. Well, so so tell us where we can find you. I know we'll post the links, but just or I mean we know where to find you obviously, but if our subscribers want to connect to you, you know, with your community, or what is the best way to how can they connect?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram a lot. I would say that's probably the best place to like actually reach me or to like keep up with me daily, if that makes sense. So, I so String Effects has an Instagram. It's string.fx.
Mm-hmm.
And my music account is at Krista Allegro. So it's my name, Crista, and then Llegro. So it's like Allegro with Krista
That's
combined.
very cute.
So that's my music account. I also am on my dog's account a lot because he's really easy to take pictures of. So that,
Actually, if you watch it later, he had a little solo at the beginning. He came out when you were started the first arrangement. He was like right there, right? So he's so cute. Make sure and watch it. And it's hilarious. I love that. That was he came out a little bit like.
right now. I don't know if you see
Aww,
Aw, so
little
cute.
little loaf.
Yeah. Aw, little Woody.
Aww, he does look so cute.
Yeah.
I do have a personal Instagram too. I don't. That's just me, like on my vacations, me eating cereal. Like it's just whatever. Like I don't post that much, but
And do you guys take any commissions? Like, can someone commission you to do something if they wanted to? Like, if they really wanted to have an arrangement for like, maybe it's even like a string orchestra in the school or something popular or something like that. Would you do you ever do that? Could they like if they had that idea? Would it be possible?
yeah. Actually, I just recently did a like I do a lot of string quartet arrangements, but those can also be string orchestras too. So I often will arrange special songs, especially for weddings. And a lot of them are usually like a theme from a movie or something.
Mhm.
Um, the one I most recently did was it was like the theme or like the main titles from The Princess Diaries.
Oh, I love that movie.
I love that movie. So, but yeah, I do commissions. I will say, for a full symphony orchestra, not so much because I don't know how to compose as well for other instruments besides strings. I've done it because I had to do it in the class, but
Same. I did it begrudgingly in class.
Scarred for life.
I was like, I remember I got to the point where I was like, maybe I should just pay someone to transcribe these parts because I literally can't. I didn't.
I cannot.
I didn't.
cannot
For
do
the
that.
sake of academic honesty, I did not. That was just a passing thought. I did it myself, but it was tempting.
Yeah, I cannot imagine how they, like conductors, read the score with all these different transpositions. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. So yeah, but strings. I'm sure you're at home with strings, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do quartet and trio and duet like arrangements all the time. Like,
Awesome.
so.
So, guys, if you're watching this, you know, I know our subscribers are all wonderful. They're all either string music enthusiasts who play gigs and weddings or teach, and both. A lot of them are teachers who need arrangements or fun things to play for their kids. So yeah, this is a great. I would say it's an amazing resource if you guys are looking for some more gig music to play. That's specifically tailored to you. You know that would be great. Great person to contact because you just seen she's amazing. And yes, anything else that we wanted to touch
I
today?
think we're good.
Anything else you wanted to share with us before we wrap up?
Not that I can think of. Yeah, if you wanna connect with me on Instagram, like I'm on there a lot, so I'm always happy to meet more people on there, and yeah, I think it's a great music community on there. So
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll put all the info in the description box so you guys can connect with Krista. And
Yes.
thanks again. It was awesome. Super fun.
Awesome. And we wanted, just before we wrap up on there, is what you can watch. He's like there popping his head from the couch. Esther, do you want to tell us a little bit about our next guest?
Yeah. So our next broadcast is going to be the 15th of May, which is the day after my birthday, so I'll be 25.
And I just had a birthday, and this is what I got for the present, by the way, from my kids. It says, hot coffee, cool mom. I approve.
But so we're gonna have our good friend Hamed Irfani, who is a guitarist, a classical guitarist. I think he also plays pop music as well. But he is gonna talk about his musician wellness projects. So we've had a couple of guests so far talking about wellness for musicians. We've had Francesco Leo and we've had Eddie Molavi. So this is kind of continuing in that series. So if you've enjoyed those videos, you should definitely tune in on the 15th because it's going to be really great. And Hamed's really talented and he's a really awesome person. So he'll be there to talk a little bit about his projects and just musicians' wellness. And it's going to be really great.
And I remember that actually a lot of projects he does with his wife, who's a cellist.
Yeah.
So that would be...
Yeah, I don't know if she's going to be on the thing. But
yeah, but at least, you know, so he could definitely relate to
strings,
the bow string probably.
Yeah, and she's great
sure
too.
There's a lot of, but yeah, so you just guys, if you don't have any plans for noon on the 15th, you can join us. That'd be great. Thank you, Krista, again. It was such a pleasure having you. And thank you for playing your beautiful arrangements and taking your time to talk to us. Let's keep in touch, definitely. And guys, I hope you get a stampede to all of your Instagram channel and your YouTube channels and everything. And lots of commissions.
Yeah, cool. It was really great seeing you over Zoom. And I love having conversations like this. It's awesome. So thank you.
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, you're welcome back anytime.
Yes, please. Okay, have a great